You're tuning into Black and White Sports on YouTube. The no-holds-barred truth on sports. The main event starts.
All right, Black and White Sports supporters, let's talk about the Steelers. My goodness, you know it's getting bad when Ben Roethlisberger's trying to run you out of town. Now, one could argue that staying with Big Ben a little too long is part of the reason the franchise is in the bind that it's in right now. I mean, I think a lot of us believe that maybe they stuck with Ben one or two seasons too long. But no doubt, he's a respected voice. He's a Super Bowl champion. And it's going to be interesting because you got a lot of people coming out now. It almost feels like a foregone conclusion that Mike Tomlin is gone. You got people, including Ben, but Ben's not the only one talking about Penn State right now. BYU, their head coach just turned down Penn State. You got to wonder, how does Penn State feel about having fired James Franklin now? He's starting to land a slew of high-profile recruits. Now, some of them were from Penn State, but you get the point. Oh, but he couldn't win the big game. No, he couldn't, but he could win 9 or 10 games pretty regular and get you in the playoffs. Now, the program feels like it's in shambles. This isn't even a talk about Penn State. But there is kind of a connection here. So this is the NFL playoff picture, as you can see right here. Gives you all the percentages, the seeding, what are the odds of making it right as of today, right now. The Steelers are out. 6-6. They have a current 32% chance if they win against Baltimore. That'll jump to 61%. I got to tell you, and back here, you still got the Bengals. That when you look at their schedule with Joe Burrow back, I mean, they got the Bills this weekend, but that's a sneaky huge game now. Actually, Bengals and Bills is a sneaky huge game. So we got a couple of things. We got Roethlisberger talking about Tomlin's future, and we also got a Pittsburgh writer that is suggesting that Mike Tomlin may end up losing some power in the organization if he was to even keep the job, which I find interesting. So let's start with Tomlin and Penn State and Big Ben.
Yeah, maybe a fresh start for him is what's best. Whether that's in the pros, whether maybe go be Penn State's head coach. You know what he would do in Penn State? He'd probably go win national championships.
Because
he's a great recruiter.
That's what was I having a conversation? We probably had this.
Probably.
Or I was having this conversation the other day. I'm like, Coach T in college would be one of the greatest college football coaches.
I mean, that's been brought up before. Remembered, Tomlin was heavily rumored at one time as being a real target of USC. And he shot that down and acted like college was beneath him and this, that, and the other. But there were a lot of rumors that behind the scenes, USC was trying to find out, would Mike Tomlin take the job? This was before Lincoln Riley. I think Clay Helton might have still been there. I can't remember exactly. It's interesting. And then you got Roethlisberger saying the following.
I know it's being talked about around here a lot. Maybe it's time. Maybe it's a clean house time. Maybe it is. Maybe it's time. And I like Coach Tomlin. I have a lot of respect for Coach Tomlin. But maybe it's best for him too.
Sure.
Maybe a fresh start for him is what's best. Whether that's in the pros,
Sure, that's probably by design. But not saying he should leave his job. Again, equally, I'm a fan of who Tomlin is. But I understand and respect the sentiment of the frustration of the fan base saying, man, something's got to go. And it's like, you go to the top of the pyramid, bro. Mm-hmm. And you have to, if all this is a mess, you are responsible, you are accountable. Mm-hmm. What is the likelihood? Maybe you don't know. This is just kind of like a, BSing about football at the bar kind of question. What is it? how does that even take place? If you're talking about cleaning house, what is the reality of something like that happening in Pittsburgh? It seems so uncharacteristic of how
it is. It is uncharacteristic.
Is that even plausible for this organization?
Well, it's happened. Listen, here's what you don't do. You don't fire a guy like Coach Tomlin. He's a Hall of Fame coach. He's respected. What you do is you come to an understanding and agreement. And it's like, hey, listen, I think it's probably best for both of us. And you don't, because listen, we've had the same head coach and Coach Tomlin. We've had different offensive coordinators, different defensive coordinators, but it's kind of been the same story.
Okay, I'm going to stop right there, but he's right. He's not going to get fired. That's not happening. If you're looking for a head on a pike kind of moment, head on a stick, sacrificial lamb no, it's not going to happen. It would be a mutual parting of the ways. I still think the idea of a team trading for him is kind of viable, especially the Giants. Especially when you look at the market. Somebody asked me, well, why would NFL teams even think about Belichick again? Because you tell me the hot shot recruiter. I mean, the hot shot coordinator right now. You tell me. There is no Ben Johnson right now. There's no Shanahan. There's no McVay. There's not even a hot, Mike McDonald. There's none of that. I think you could see several former veteran coaches get jobs because there might be 5 to 8 openings, and who's taking those jobs? You know? I think you could see Tomlin switch teams, Gruden, Belichick, Mike McCarthy, I think is damn near a slam dunk somewhere. I'm just putting it out there. I'm just throwing that out there. So check this out. Beat writer was on the radio station up there. This is what he said. Quote, "This is Omar Khan, Andy Waddell, and Mike Tomlin wrapped all together talking about the roster situation. After the Bills game, I said, this roster sucks. This roster's not a good roster. They made poor decision. The George Pickens thing looks disastrous. I think a lot of this is on Mike, though. This is Mike's team. We know he wanted Aaron Rodgers. Pittsburgh Post-Gazette, Ray Filippo said Wednesday on 93.7 The Fans morning show, the job of GM and the job of personnel guys is to acquire talent that the head coach wants to incorporate into the system. And I think Mike, where he is at the stage of his career, certainly has the power. I just wonder if Mike stays, does Omar maybe take a little bit of that control back and say, quote, we're going to acquire our guys who we think fit your system, and you're going to go coach them. It's unclear. It's clear that something has to change in the offseason more than just a secondary or inside linebackers coach like last season. So they're talking about a power dynamic situation. Would Tomlin even want to do that? Look, once you start cycling through coordinators, we all know the next step is the head coach is out. And again, I think he's a hell of a coach. I do. But I think there's a change of scenery situation. You guys know I'm a huge Niners fan. I really like Kyle Shanahan. But Shanahan's been with the Niners a while. Not nearly as long as Tomlin. But let's say we look up in another 3 years, the Niners still ain't won a Super Bowl. He's going to fall into the Andy Reid, Eagles, Tomlin, Steelers. There's guys that are good that just need a change of scenery. I kind of hope that doesn't happen because I don't know who the frick Jed York would bring in. But you get my point. The voice gets stale, the message gets stale, and it's time to do something else. That loss to the Bills at home, in the manner that it happened, and that's my issue with everything. They got the shit bullied out of them. The Steelers did. bullied out of them at home in front of their crowd. The Bills came in there and played Steelers ball on the Steelers, ran all over their asses. Bullied. Oh, that's a terrible look. Against the Steelers? Whoa. Tell me what you think. Peace. I'm out. Till next time.
Thanks for watching the show. Be sure to like, comment, and subscribe. Be sure to tune in next time on Black and White Sports.